Hello, welcome back to my YouTube space. I am the Kenyan Beast, of course. We are doing it the African way every day, every time. Now, in today's video, I'm gonna react on this clip of Minister Louis Farrakhan handling the white audience and black audience. I think there was a discussion here, like a debate, and some were asking, why can't black people and Jews, or why can't black people unite? I just want you to hear this video of Louis Farrakhan, of him handling the questions of the white people and black people here, and then we will come back again and discuss about it.
I would just like to say that I am terrified that even you, someone who's obviously educated, has given up hope completely. Like when you call upon us, you say white folk, you say black people, Jewish people. Why can't we come together? We obviously can come together. We just have to find a way to do it.
The desire is good, but the reality is the total opposite of your desire. And unfortunately, as a young lady, you are not in the position of power to make the decisions to make America work. May I, as an audience of intelligent people, I would like to just take a moment to say to you that I really don't think you fully understand what has happened to these people that you look at as second class or inferior citizens in this nation. Black people who were brought to this country were stripped of their names, language, culture, religion, God, and taken totally away from the history of themselves. Here are 30 million people who don't wear their own names, they wear your names. Who don't speak their own language, they speak English, which is not their language. They never were allowed their own cultural expression of Africa. Don't you realize that when you turn a people upside down and inside out, then sell them not for a day, not for a year, but for 300 years, and deny us the human right to know, to read a book, to learn, to understand, and then after 300 years of that, you allow us into the church, but by that time, you've painted Jesus white, God white, the angels white, and then all these black people have been subjected to a form of white supremacy, which produces in the reverse a black inferiority. And this is fulfilling what Jesus said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And as long as our people think the way they think, we will never be able to do what we as a people should do to correct our condition.
Over here, please.
Several people in the audience have said the things that he's saying, but you really haven't.
What I'd like to say, there was somebody over there in the audience who said that they were afraid, they were scared when they were talking about what he was saying, you see. And what I'm saying is, the other day, you asked Mandela that same question about fearing, white people fearing, what will the black folks do and stuff. We should be running down the street screaming, ramping, and raving, because when you look at the statistics, who is the one dying? From the policemen, from the KKK, from the skinheads, from the black people.
We're getting be scared. It should be the people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It should be us who should be scared, or y'all sitting here.
Excuse me, I was brought up in, quote, Bedford-Stuyvesant in my time. But I would like to say what scares us is I think we hear violence.
May I respond? Yeah. May I respond, please? I'm sorry.
All right. Minister Farrakhan, would you explain why it is relevant at this stage in 1990, with all that we've gone through, why it is still relevant to try and to educate or to get white people to understand the plight of black people? Shouldn't the energy be directed to us?
Right on. If I may, my work is directly to black people. I spend 99% of my time dealing with us to help us reform our minds and spirit that we may do for ourselves. However, when you live in a society like this, and we know that in order to effect a solution to a problem between black and white, then there's going to have to be some meaningful dialogue between black and white in order to effect a solution. The young lady said she's afraid of violence. And isn't it sad that we who have been the victims of so much violence, now whites fear violence from us? We do not have a history of killing white people. White people have a history of killing us. See? And what you fear, may I say this, sir? What you fear, and it's a deep guilt thing, that white folks suffer. You are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us. And I think you are judging us by the state of your own mind, and that is not necessarily the mind of black people.
I'm with you in that you're talking about wanting to have meaningful dialogue, and that's a problem. You know, right away, I don't know what's going to make whites happy, for Pete's sake. You know, you're talking about trying to find a solution to your problem. You're trying hard to do that, and we're tuning you right out. We're arguing with you. We're not agreeing with anything. We're not trying to give you a chance. For Pete's sake, you know, what do we want?
Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Farrakhan, there's a situation now where 1 in 4 black males are in prison or in jail or in some type of probation situation, okay? When I look around, even myself being a black reporter, okay, and they talk about racism of a black and white person go to the job, a black person is going to get the job, I never find that out. And we're in New York City with a black mayor, and I still haven't seen it. And when I see Minister Farrakhan, not only the brothers enlighten me, but he gives me hope to not give up, not go get a pistol and stick somebody up, okay? So when I see you, not only are you the light and the hope, but I think, white America, you need to listen. And please don't harm this brother, because we love him.
Yeah, hang on a minute, yeah.
Getting back to what she said, what exactly do we have a problem with? Before you made a statement, you said that I think that, well, not I, you said that white people think that you're inferior to us. I don't believe that. I'm part of the youth of America. I am not prejudiced. I feel more prejudiced right now than I've ever felt. Not against black, I am not prejudiced against black people. Some of my best friends are black people. I am, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
You let him speak, let me speak.
Yeah. You wanted to speak to this young woman?
No, I don't want to speak.
Who wants to talk to her? Yes.
No,
yes.
what do you mean you feel more prejudice right now?
Because the way he's saying...
Because what?
What he's saying right now, I mean, I feel that you are prejudiced towards white people.
Okay, but excuse me. I think it's like he said, it might be a fear or misunderstanding that you have, because what fear has he put, or what has he actually said here today that makes you feel prejudiced?
I think that he said that we think that they're inferior. I think it's partly part of your own complex that you have to get over, because I don't feel you're inferior. I have nothing against black people.
Let me answer her. This is the, excuse me, this is the situation. Every young white adult says, I have not done this to black people. I have not done that to black people. But your forefathers are the ones who have set us in the situation we are in. Now, what I'm saying is this. When Nat Turner stood up, you all rejected him. You killed him. When Marcus Garvey stood up, you all rejected him, enslaved him. He died a broken heart. Now, what I'm saying is this. Your fathers have put us in the condition we are in, and today you are profiting from what your forefathers have done. Now, my grandchildren are going to be raised, and your children are going to say to them, they have not done to them, because you are the ones who are going to do to my grandchildren what they're going to experience if the situation continues. Now, what I'm saying is this. When we talk about America falling, what we are saying is this. if you all want to control America, then we must have a land base that we control. You all cannot continue printing the dollar bill and then expect us to abide by your rules when you do not want to give us jobs. Therefore, I'm saying that we have now got to come into negotiations, and Minister Farrakhan is the man to listen to.
It becomes apparent more and more as we listen to each other and try to talk to each other that we don't perceive reality the same. And as we're talking about either reconciling differences or separating, it becomes clear that if two people are looking at the same thing and perceiving it so differently, then the two people are operating under a different stimulus. And so when the young lady says, I am prejudiced, to be prejudiced means to judge before the fact. After 400 years of living and experiencing, we're not prejudiced. We are looking at the reality of what we have suffered and continue to suffer.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Come back. Now, in this video is Minister Louis Farrakhan. He is a black man, and he's one of the people who is fighting for the black community, who is speaking for the black community. Now here, it was in a debate, and the audience here is mixed. There's white audience and black people. And I see white people asking Louis Farrakhan questions. And one of the questions was like, why do white people and black people do not come together and unite? And you heard the answer Louis Farrakhan gave. And I just want to touch on to that. Why do white people and black people cannot or do not unite? And this is a deep, complex of conversation. Because people have different racial background, or people of different racial background can unite in various ways or cannot unite because of some things. And one of the things that will make people of different race not unite, number one, is historical context. A lot of centuries of colonialism, slavery, and segregation has left deep scars and ongoing inequalities. These histories shape present-day attitude, systematic biases, and mistrust between communities. Whatever happened during slavery and during the segregation period is carried on unto now. And still, black people have this pain in their heart because we are learning about how our ancestors were denied the freedom of speech, were denied the freedom of even living because there was slavery to some people. And it's very hard for black people and white people to unite if they think of historical context, okay? That is one of the things why they cannot sit down together and unite. And we are not saying that black people and white people have not united. I'm just giving out examples on why some people feel that they can't unite with the other race. And number two is systematic inequalities. Now, economic, educational, and social inequalities persist often along racial lines. These disparities can create resentment and misunderstanding. Number three is cultural difference. Now, when we talk about cultural misunderstanding and lack of exposure can lead to stereotypes and prejudice. Now, when people don't engage with others who are different from them, it's easy for misconception to take root. Now, a lot of white people has misconception about black people, about even you had there some saying they think of black people of just committing violence, you know. That is stereotypes, and black people has these stereotypes of white people being the best because black or white people brainwashed us. They brought us their God, and even when we were waking up with some long-term damages like religious. It was a long-term long-term con. Democracy was a long-term con. Respecting of the white people, white supremacy was a long con that is happening up to now. Now, another thing is that will make these two races not unite is politics. Race is often politicized, with some leaders and group using racial division to garner support or distract from other issues. You have had some leaders supporting black community and saying black people, you know, this and this. Even Jesus was from black people. Putin was on the front line politicizing the issue of black people. He came out with this black Madonna, or the image of black Jesus, and a lot of people thought it as like it's a political move, of which I did not see that. But again, I can say that the media representation, it can lead to one family or can lead to one race saying no to the other, because they only think of black race of crimes, they only think of black race of eating a lot, they only think black race of, you know, anything they could think of. And we as black people, we were not able to deny this allegation simply because we were denied education from the word go. And by denying black people education, it was a golden move for them to make sure that they remain having these brains and power everywhere. Now, another thing that can make us not unite is media representation. Now, media can sometimes reinforce stereotypes or highlights conflicts rather than collaboration, which can skew perception. Now, a lot of white people and black people can't unite because of various reasons. And one of the things is that white people has the history of killing other people, more so black people. But black people has never had this history, you know, like that. But black people, you know, white people have had, or they have the history of killing, torturing other races. Louis Farrakhan has given answers in this audience, and it's awesome to see that he's giving answers according to the best of the knowledge of black people. But again, I will say this. White people have the history of mistreating, segregating, and killing black people. And by remembering this, it's very hard for black people to unite with white people, because we always think of whatever happened and is still happening up to now. You know, even if it could have happened once and then when silent, is okay, but it is still happening up to now. Racism, segregation, you know, is still happening up to now, even in these schools. So at the end of the day, we as black people, or some of the black people, they get it hard to forget whatever happened. They get it hard. Okay? Even if some white people say that we are not the one who did that, but your ancestors did it. They did it to our ancestors. Okay? So, you as a white person need to be held responsible of whatever happened. Tell me what you think about this video on the comment section, about the all of the video, Louis Farrakhan answering this question. Until next episode, we say peace be with you.